What's up, guys? Thanks for joining me again. Alex Hoddle, InstinctReport.com. And here I am in the woods because I like the woods. Woods is nice. It's nature, you know. And today I wanted to say, I think humanity's on a cusp of another individualistic revolution. A revolution of the individual. And all great revolutions, successful revolutions in human history have been for the individual. None of this collective, whether if it's the church or the fucking caliphate or for communism, it is all for the individual. And I think where this is ultimately going to end up is for the phasing out of the concept of government or any sort of higher authority, because people will recognize that the self is the ultimate authority. And I'm not trying to sound like, you know, a lot of the churchgoers will be like, no, God is the ultimate authority. And, you know, if that's what makes you a moral person and successful and loving and virtuous, I'm not trying to say that, you know, sarcastically or demeaningly or anything. I'm serious. If that's what makes you virtuous, by all means, I'm totally cool with that. And I'm not trying to preach, because a lot of Satanists will be like, yeah, the self, but what's the point of worshiping Satan when if it's the self that's the ultimate authority? Which it's kind of like saying I'm an atheist, but I'm a Satanist. It's like, no, that doesn't mix. You can't worship Satan and not believe in religion at the same time. And that kind of goes with the mental illness of these people. And they think, and Satanists think, that the worse the better. And that's not what I think. I'm not a Satanist. I don't call myself an atheist. I got spirituality, but it's my own spirituality. It's not your spirituality. You have your spirituality. You're an individual. And people are starting to realize that kind of stuff. And this individualistic revolution is not going to be one that's promoted by a government. It's not going to be one that's going to be enacted by laws. It's just going to be one of a common understanding with each other, instinctively. And I think it's going to be absolutely just remarkable when it happens. Right now, I think it's just kind of bubbling in the ether. It's just kind of about to erupt. And once it does, it's already unstoppable. But you got a lot of collectivist forces that want to keep us in that collectivism, keep us in this, keep us thinking of ourselves as just some sort of category. Oh, I'm a Republican, or I'm a, you know, and that's it. That's your whole fucking existence. But people are just starting to break away from this stuff. I mean, be honest, look at Donald Trump. He calls himself a Republican just because that's just how the system works these days. In order to be president, you got to have the big backing of the party. But I mean, look at a lot of his stuff. He's still very socialist. He's still like, we're going to take care of people, and we use tax money to take care of people, and blah blah blah. And so he's not like a libertarian Republican, but he has to have that name. He's definitely individualistic, is how he runs the country. Every failed revolution of history has been a collectivist revolution, whereas every successful one has been a revolution of the individual. Magna Carta, 1776. It's all been a graduation of the individual. And we are not on another cusp of it. And it's super exciting because we all got front row seats to it. I think it's going to get, I don't know if it's going to get worse before it gets better, but it hasn't gotten terrible yet. It's actually, I think things overall, in America at least, it sure has a lot of division, there's a lot of bad stuff going on, but I'm not going to say we're out of the woods, but I think things are getting somewhat better. At least economically. But there's still a lot of issues, you know, with the banks and everything, which pretty much run all these collectivist operations. And a lot of collectivism has to do with the corporate end of it too. There's a lot of Nazi and communist style tactics that corporations employ to build teamwork and camaraderie, because the work itself isn't fulfilling. They got to make up for it somehow. I'm not saying, you know, don't work or anything, but I'm just saying, do something that, be an entrepreneur. Do something that satisfies the self. Do something that you think is meaningful. Not what someone else tells you what you should think is meaningful. What you think is meaningful. And it's daunting. It's like, myself is the authority. I can authorize this. It's daunting because we haven't, this is uncharted territory where we're about to go. It's been somewhat charted, but it's not, where we are about to go in the future is uncharted. The individual, the complete self-authorization. You are the ultimate authority of yourself. That's what I got for you today. Thanks for joining me in the woods, as I'm hoping I don't get any ticks or anything. I'll have to check myself afterwards. Alex Hoddle, instinctreport.com. I appreciate it. And this is super exciting. I mean, the next individualistic revolution, I would say it's already underway, but it hasn't exploded yet. It's about to fucking explode. I don't know how it's gonna explode, but just how events transpire. Thank you guys. Alex Hoddle, instinctreport.com.